Welcome everybody to the Digital Nomad Sessions. My name is Mitch Asser, your host, and I have a very, very special guest with me today. And we're going to be talking about a very popular topic amongst not just digital nomads, but everybody online today. I've got with me Sue B. Zimmerman. Sue, thanks so much for joining us.
You are welcome. And so we are like a whole day apart over here. I'm in Boston and you're in the Gold Coast. So
Yeah.
is it Friday over there?
Yeah, I'm living in the future. But it's so good that we can connect and make this work, because we've got an exciting topic today coming up, talking about how advanced Instagram strategies that will set your brand apart. Now, Instagram is such a popular topic, and we're going to dive into all of the reasons why. But let me just introduce Sue here for a moment. And sorry if there's a plane going over the head right now that you can hear, but Sue B is an insightful, energetic, and in-demand online marketer, educator, influencer, speaker, and a non-BS business coach. She is a popular creative live instructor and has been named by the Huffington Post as one of the top 50 must-follow women entrepreneurs and the top 50 social media marketing influencers by Top Rank Marketing, and the top female business influencer of 2019 by Fit Small Business. Sue's blog was ranked as one of the top 10 social media blogs in 2017 by Social Media Examiner. And as a lifelong entrepreneur, Sue B has over 30 years of business experience. And with her extensive knowledge and implementation of social media, it is Sue B's mission to teach, mentor, and empower others, and especially around Instagram. So I guess the best place to start is, why Instagram for you? Why has it been so important? And why is it so effective for people out there looking to grow their brands?
Yeah, so for me, I discovered the power of Instagram from my retail store that I had in Massachusetts on Cape Cod at a store, my little boutique I had for 7 years. I was teaching social media for about 7 years, and I had my store in the summer, and I realized that I could really, I needed a new way to market my business. Like a lot of people that have retail stores, Twitter, Facebook, Foursquare, it was the thing back then. It just wasn't working. And so when my twins were on Instagram and we were on vacation and I asked them what they were doing, and they told me not to get on Instagram because they're like, Mom, then you're going to start teaching it. Cause I'm that person that wants to know all the things that the teenagers are doing. Like, hello, TikTok. Yeah. So I am that person that immerses myself in anything new and exciting. And I knew that Instagram was going to be the go-to social media app because I'm a visual thinker, learner, and people like to process information faster from visuals. And back in the day, 7 years ago, when I started teaching, there was only the feed. So we'll certainly talk about all 4 neighborhoods, the feed, stories, IGTV, and live. But for me, it was getting people into my store strategically. It worked. My sales increased so much that I wanted to teach other business owners how to have the same kind of success. So it was very organic for me. And I got interviewed on a podcast, and one led to another. And then I was asked to speak on stage at Social Media Marketing World, and then Social Media Camp in Canada, and then Traffic and Conversion and Creative Live. And one stage led to another. And now I'm a paid speaker and teaching Instagram to a global audience. I have 2,000 students in my signature course, Ready, Set, Gram. I have 100 pro advanced Instagram students in my pro coaching. And I show up consistently giving value, teaching, nurturing. I have a YouTube channel that has over 330 videos, and I have been relentlessly showing up because I know I can help so many people have success. And success for me is becoming the go-to authority in your niche, and that ultimately leads to more money. But I'm not leading with the money first. I'm leading with the authority, and that's the way I teach Instagram.
Yeah, there's a couple of, I really love that. I think there's a couple of really amazing points in there that maybe we'll get into, but one of them being, you talked about consistency there. I think that's really what sets apart most people, is the consistency, and people who stay around the longest, continuing to provide value, are the ones that ultimately will get some traction and hopefully some success. So yeah, maybe let's dive into what we need to be starting to thinking about. Did that make sense? In terms of when we're looking to looking to create advanced Instagram strategies for our businesses and our brands. So where's the best place for us to start when we're going down on this journey?
Yeah. So before you do anything advanced, you really have to understand the basics and the general kind of rules of engagement on Instagram. I think a lot of people now, especially because the Instagram direct message feature, are just going about things incorrectly and aggressively and leading with selling and not serving. And so I see so many people making big mistakes every day. A lot of people contacting me, their accounts are getting shut down because they're using some automation tool or some gamify way to get more followers. And so I think mindset would probably be the best place to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in order to have great success on Instagram, it's so important to have a strategy like anything else in your life and in your business. And a strategy for a lot of people, they're just like, I don't even know what my strategy should be. Like, I don't know what my Instagram strategy should be. And I say, do the research. Go and look at other accounts that are having success in your market niche and take note of what you like and what you don't like. And most importantly, what's your point of difference? How are you standing out from everyone else who does what you do? And, I know there's lots of people out there teaching Instagram, but I know what my market niche is, and I know who my avatar is, and I know how to target them and market to them and serve them. And I have a wildly successful business, and I get to do all the things that I love. And there is plenty of business for everybody, especially when we now have the ability to have a global audience. It's mind-boggling to me that I can be connecting to someone in seconds on Instagram across the world and jump on an Instagram DM video chat if I want to, which is a more advanced feature. But the mindset piece is really important. So really figuring out how you differentiate from everyone else who does what you do, and then making sure that you're set up for success by having a username that is searchable. SEO, yes, there is SEO in the username. There is SEO in the subtitle. Making sure that your bio speaks to who you are, what you do, and how you're different than everyone else. And I think that a lot of people don't even get their bio correct. So when I say that, they don't have the right keywords in their SEO, they don't have a call to action, they don't have a promise that they're making and keeping by posting strategically. And so when there's any kind of confusion, people don't follow you and you don't become the authority. And so what I teach is how to set yourself up for success, starting with that username, that bio, and then thinking about the content strategy. And the content strategy is usually the most challenging for everyone. And so what I like to do with my students is to have them really think about their unique assets, their core values, their interests, the things about them that make them different, like I said. And I call this content buckets and visual buckets. And when you can establish the visual buckets around content, it makes posting so much easier. And it makes knowing what to say no to and what to say yes to. Because if things don't fall into these content buckets, then you really should assess it and strategically think about who, again, going back to who are you trying to talk to and what's in it for them when you do create this content, and not pulling random stuff off the internet that I can find just by Googling.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. Such important points. And it really does come down to that planning. So, so let's say people are starting to go through some similar accounts. Should they be looking at the people who have, hundreds of thousands or millions of Instagram followers, or they should be looking for people that are maybe just a little bit ahead of them to see what they're doing? What would you say would be more effective?
Well, I think market research can go as broad as you want. I would aim high. Like, what is it about that personality? Because behind every avatar is a real person. What is it behind that business that you are attracted to? What's making you laugh? What's making you, what's becoming a resource? What is educational or inspirational? What are the things that make you stop in your scroll? And so that's the best place to start, in my opinion.
Yeah, amazing. Perfect. I love that. Awesome. So we're thinking about our content strategy and all of those types of things. Now that we've got a bit of an idea of where to start, where should we start to focus next?
So next comes with having a solid content strategy and planning, blocking your calendar, treating yourself like your best client, and planning out a week or two's worth of content and batching. I'm all about batching everything I do. And when you batch and you create content based on, we have a content calendar, and everything we do goes back to that content calendar. And there's purpose behind every single post. I always say post with purpose. And either we are educating and teaching, we're leading people to our pro coaching program, we are doing a mini series, or we're doing a video or an IGTV. We basically look at our content calendar, and my head of content strategy and I talk weekly and plan, review and plan the feed posts based on that content calendar. So you have to really know why you're doing what you're doing, and nothing should ever be random. It should all be with great intention around a strategy and campaigns that you're running, right?
Yeah, absolutely. How do stories fit in with your content calendar planning?
In my opinion, stories are the most important neighborhood on Instagram. It is literally the place where you can amplify, promote, and broadcast who you are, what you do, and why you do it every day. And it makes it really easy for people to get to know you when you do them well. A lot of people don't do them well, but stories are everything. Stories are such a great opportunity to infuse the imperfections, the quirkiness of you, and the behind the scenes, and just the nuances of what makes you special and different. And again, going back to standing out. So I infuse my personality every day into my stories. I drive traffic to the post in my feed because that's the evergreen content. That's where you want the engagement. That's where, the algorithm, it matters when you get the comments and the saves and the shares on your post. And so I'm always looking to drive conversation to my content that I created in my feed, because I believe that conversations are everything. And without conversations, you have nothing. Conversations let you know what's working, what isn't. Conversations give you opportunities to go deeper with other people and take things further. So stories, because of the engagement stickers, where you now can really get people to stop in their tap and engage, those become warmer leads. Those are opportunities for you to nurture in a creative way, which I do using quick reply as a feature. And you can link my YouTube video, quick replies, Subi Zimmerman quick replies, how to use them strategically. So for example, when someone follows me on Instagram, I've created a quick reply that really is exactly what I would say to you if I met you in person. And it's stylized in a way, it's laid out in a way that makes people feel welcome, and that I noticed that they started following me. And I give them the next step, which is my Instagram guide, which is my 2020 guide. That's 8 pages. That's going to get people going in the right direction. And then after they've thanked me for that or said, oh my gosh, that was so nice, I will then send them a link to my free training, my 3 training, subizimmerman.com/3 keys. It's an hour of free training. So if you like what you're hearing here, that training is really worth your time. And I teach people how to attract authentic followers and buyers without the complex content creation. So that would be part of my nurturing in a story or a direct message conversation. I know I went a little bit deep here, but it's really connecting all the dots from one neighborhood to the other, because Instagram is basically a village. Instagram is a village with 4 neighborhoods where people can hang out in 4 places. And some people like to hang out in the feed, and some people like to just stay in stories, and some people enjoy listening to IGTVs and lives. So because of that, people's time is divided, and by utilizing stories strategically, you can get more engagement and more conversations and more opt-ins or more subscribers if you do them well.
Yeah, amazing. That's really cool. Some really valuable tips in there for, turning your followers into customers or loyal fans as well by getting them on your email list. So that's really cool. I've been watching a lot of your stories lately, and they
Oh,
are
good.
totally amazing. I guess to go
Wait,
back
no,
just
wait.
to
What do you? So I'm curious. What do you when you say they're totally amazing? What is it that makes them totally amazing to you?
it would be the difference in design compared to a lot of people, and that sort of leads into my question. My next question is, it seems to me maybe you're probably pre-planning maybe 60 to 80% of your stories, and they're being designed up really well and leading them back, like you're saying, to your evergreen posts and stuff like that. And then maybe the 20% on top of that is really just showcasing behind the scenes, day to day, who you are. How far off would I be for that?
Okay, so my content strategist and I meet weekly and talk about bullet points of stories in Trello. I have Trello boards with just points, but all of the creativity that I do on brand, I do because I have a graphic designer that has supplied me with templates and frames that I have in folders on my phone that I can quickly grab and create. But every day I'm doing it. Like I said earlier, I'm a visual thinker. Like I'm connecting a story that makes sense for someone to watch. If they missed the previous clip, will they still be engaged on this clip, and will they want to tap forward? So I'm always thinking about the tap back and the tap forward, because you might just be here in the middle of my story and miss the context to what I was trying to do, but will you still get value? So I'm always thinking about that in every clip, and they do take me a significant amount of time to do, but I'm really good at it and pretty fast compared to most people. And I don't obsess. I don't like take 2, take 3 in my stories. What you see is who I am. I am so not perfect. I don't ever want to appear that everything is so polished in my business, because that just doesn't exist. And so it's the real raw and authenticity that people are connected to. And what I hear frequently is, I like your personality. I like seeing where you live. I like your potty mouth. I like that you are just you. And that is what we all want, right? But a lot of people struggle with stepping into who they are. And that's a whole nother conversation for another time.
Absolutely. So you're sharing some amazing information here. I'm really excited about this talk already. But let's continue on now. So we've been researching, we've started creating a content calendar. We know sort of what we need to do for stories now. What's the next thing that we need to be thinking about to set our brands apart?
Every day I think about what can I do to set my brand apart. It's an ongoing thought process of how to stand out from anybody and how to create I like, just extreme content that stands out. If you're not standing out, you're blending in. If you're blending in, you're just not winning, in my opinion. I always have been the person that stands out, because I think of so many ways to do that creatively, differently than anyone else. I'm trying never to copy. I'm always trying to lead. And so that's what I want your listeners to do, is just lean into what things that you do creatively. So whether it's painting your pop socket on your phone so you can stand out from everyone else that has this color phone case, it's just like, how can I be different? How can I be different and be on brand? And even like putting an Instagram sticker on my iMac. It's just like, what are the little nuances and things? But after posts, after stories, there's so many more advanced things that you could be doing. So IGTV for me has been a big all in 2019. I predicted that it was going to be the place to be. And of all the neighborhoods, it's the one that gets the most engagement the quickest. This morning, I posted another IGTV. It already has almost 2,000 views in hours, which is crazy compared to anything else I do. My insights, because Instagram's pushing out my IGTV into the discovery page because of the success that I've had on them. And you now have your own channel. So not only do you have a channel, but you can create a series. So for those of you that don't know, when you go to Instagram, so I'm hoping that that's not going to be too rainbow. Oh, it is a little. Oh, the light's on it. But let me just get it. I'm determined. Okay. So when you go to your IGTV channel, you can see all of these branded IGTVs. They all have transcriptions on them and they're branded. And so this is a channel. And over here, you can see where it says series. Whoops, hold on. I'm going to press into that for a second. So there's this little area here where you can create your own series. So I have a channel, my IGTV channel, and it now has a series. And when I say series, they're categories of my videos that are on my channel called Instagram IGTV. It's just the craziest. And so this is a new update. So with series, I have a health one, brand crushes, Instagram tips, favorite gear that I use, my community members, and then I have my business tips. So I want you all to think about, like, how can you categorize your IGTVs? And it's so exciting that you can now do that. And I will be teaching this in a further YouTube video. It's a relatively new update. A lot of people probably don't even know about this. And you wanted the advanced things, so I'm giving them to you. So that's IGTV. And then I always go live every single Monday. I go live when I release new content on YouTube. So I'll talk you through kind of this advanced strategy, and I think your listeners will really appreciate it. So content is everything. In order to become the go-to authority in your niche, in your business, you have to create information that others believe that you are credible. If you have to, like, that is a given. And so my YouTube videos that I now have over 335, I've been doing for years. And so every Monday I create those videos. They're under 5 minutes. Typically, I want people to have quick, easy wins. And on Monday in my feed, I drop a trailer of exactly what that video is about. I announce in my stories, I'm sure you've seen this, that I'm going live at 3 p.m. EST, again, using stories to broadcast something, let my followers know when I'm going to go live. So when they get the notification, they tune in, and I tell them exactly what I'll be talking about, which is always the YouTube video, the content that I taught. I go deeper. I do Q&As. I bring in guests. I collaborate, and I have some sponsorships. And I just go deeper in the content that I teach, and I build community. And that's the goal, building community, letting other people come into my broadcast, giving people the opportunity to get comfortable on a live and to share their story, I think is so important. And I do this every time I do my Instagram lives, and I have strategies all around my live broadcast. You really can pull some of my YouTube videos. There's a checklist, a live checklist on my YouTube channel. And from pinning a photo to having a hashtag in the title to understanding like how to do it well with good lighting and sound and all that. And I love doing them. In fact, I'm doing them 2 or 3 times a week now. So Mondays are content lives, and Fridays are typically live broadcasts with a guest. So maybe an author or a speaker, or in this case, on this Friday, I'll show you, I actually just did a clip of me with Steve Dotto, who's a YouTuber. He's a good friend of mine, my accountability partner, and I'm letting everyone know that I'm going live with him tomorrow. And I tagged him so that he can share it. And I put the time that we're live, and it's all about productivity tips. So I'm going live doing things outside of Instagram, but I will always tie it back to Instagram. So we're talking about productivity, but we'll talk about productivity on Instagram. So I think it's important to gain a following and authority to just be doing interviews like this, whether it's podcasts, speaking on stages, I get in front of big audiences, doing in-person workshops as much as possible and meeting people eye to eye, as well as all of the social I do specifically around Instagram. So because I teach Instagram marketing, I got to show up in all 4 of these neighborhoods consistently and teach all of you the best tactics and strategies. So those are the 4 neighborhoods. And then another advanced tactic I do is an Instagram takeover, which we can talk about if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll dive into that in just a second. I just wanted to point out, like, you basically covered the question that I had is, do you repurpose your YouTube content onto Instagram TV? Because like, that's what I see a lot of people doing, and they sort of just have the normal size video in the middle of the rectangle, and it looks good, but it maybe could be better and more created more purposefully towards that particular platform. So I'm really glad you shared that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's
And
a
the
really
key
amazing.
is, and the key is to have them transcribed, because most people are watching videos on silent,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
they can't turn on volume. They're in a private place.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. I love that. And yeah, let's dive into Instagram takeovers now as our final advanced strategy.
Cool. So I just did one today on Iographer, IOGRAPHER, and I am a partner of theirs. So if you go to their website and you type in Subi or Subi bundle, you'll see all the gear that I use that they sell. I'm looking at one of their Diva lights that are transportable, really easy. The phone goes right in the middle, and I just love their products. It's like, I'll show you like this small, and your phone can go right here. So whenever I do a live broadcast, this is what I use. And this cord is a UBS cord, a USB, UBS, a USB cord, and it has 3 different settings, which is really cool. So you can change the kind of lighting that you use. So this has been a really great partnership for me in terms of, I use the product. I've done an IGTV video, and you can link that IGTV video as well. It's in my feed. Every single Instagram post has its own unique URL that you can share out anywhere you want, whether it's in a podcast show notes or it's on Twitter or wherever you want to share. So that one's specifically about Iographer. And so this takeover I did for Dave today really was fun. And I teach on the takeover. It's in stories. I have a couple of criteria whenever I do these takeovers. Number 1, you have to share in your feed that I'm doing the takeover so your audience knows. Number 2, you have to share in your stories that I'm coming on so people aren't like, wait, who is this chick? I'm not used to seeing her. I want them to introduce me. And then I spend the whole day with the takeover. And I also, as of late, have been going live the days that I do takeovers on their channel, meeting their audience, getting questions. So I get more followers, I gain authority. I'm able to create a highlight called Insta Tips. And if you go and look at Iographer, you can link that in the show notes. There's a highlight called Insta Tips. You guys can all watch what I did on Dave's channel. So it lives on forever after the 24 hours of a story expiring. So it's a great way to really grow your audience. And there's an exchange of the password. Obviously, you want to protect it, use LastPass, change the password. But once you get into someone else's account and you have an agreement of what you're going to talk about and teach or talk about, they're fun. And I love doing them. I also have one on digital marketers highlight. If you look at digital marketer, I speak at Traffic and Conversion, and I've done one for them, and that you guys could go and watch and learn. But I've done at least 30, and they're really fun. And it's a great way, like I said, to gain a new audience, to engage with a completely different audience that aligns with you. And in this situation, because I'm a partner with their product, it was great.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I guess to maybe finish off on that one, how are you getting these types of partnerships? Are they coming through existing relationships, or are you DMing them on Instagram? How would you set that up?
Yeah, so every single one of my takeovers is with someone that I know very well. It's not like a cold call DM, I want to do a takeover. It's like, you just don't do that. You need to be connected to someone if you're going to take over their account. And so Dave and I go back 5 years. Yes, it originates in the DM because all of my communication starts there. And then I send people to my team to coordinate. So as soon as Dave said yes, I put it in Slack for my team to coordinate it. And we established the date and time. Dave and I established that. And then my team had it on my calendar. And Dave gave me the login. And once I was in, I had free liberty to basically teach what I wanted based on what our conversation was.
Yeah, absolutely. That's perfect. Awesome. So firstly, there's been so much amazing content here. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I know everyone at home has as well. And a couple more questions. So the first one is, everything that you're talking about here, do you see this as being like a timeless strategy, or is it important for us to continue evolving and staying up to date with, changes and things like that?
Oh, always evolving and staying up to date, never settling, because things are always moving fast and changing. It's what keeps being an entrepreneur exciting. I love it. I love I love all the new nuances and changes. Like I said, I started teaching Instagram 7 years ago and it was just the feed. And Instagram is constantly adding features for me to teach, which makes it great. I always have something to talk about. So if you're just going to stand still in your business, you're not going to win. You have to embrace the change.
Yeah, amazing. And then final question is for people getting started, or they might be around 500, 1,000, 2,000 followers. What do you see are the biggest mistakes that they're making?
Oh, I wouldn't categorize them just as a 2,000 person account. It's people in general mistakes. It doesn't matter. I see mistakes every day. Um, Mainly just not leading with content of what's in it for them. Great, you just went on vacation or you just bought a new Chanel bag. I don't really care. What's in it for me? Are you going to tell me something about the bag that makes it special or different, or the destination that I'm going to learn from? Is it even your niche, or are you just kind of bragging? Like, I don't care about you, I care about me. It's always what's in it for them. You have to always serve, because when you do, they will talk about you. When you do, they will tag their friends. When you do, they will come visit you when you speak. It's all part of building that trust and credibility. And Instagram is a great platform, but a lot of people just use it to show off what they're doing. And no one really cares what you're doing. They care what you're doing, how it can help them.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. Such a valuable tip, and definitely something that I think a lot of newbies definitely miss, at least getting started with. And it's going to be an important change, especially growing quickly and building that like
Yes,
initial group of fans. The more targeted that you are towards a certain topic, the better it's going to be. So,
absolutely.
Sue, this has been amazing. We're about to wrap up now, so I just want to thank you for your time and your expertise and your willingness to serve. I'm sure everybody out there has got some amazing information from you. So, where can they go to continue the conversation with you?
Yeah. So, what I like to do whenever I do an interview is have all of you, every one of you, not be a lurker, but be an action taker and come on over to the gram, to Instagram, and say hello to me, the Instagram expert. Like, tell me that you heard this interview. Tell me what your biggest takeaway was. You can if you want to, or you can put it on one of my posts. The only way that I'm going to be able to connect with you is if you talk to me. So, talk to me. I want to meet you.
Amazing. And we'll link that up down below so everybody can go and say hello. So once again, Sue Zimmerman, thanks so much for joining us here on Digital Nomad Sessions.